Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, I am fresh out of the shower. Put my Lush Mr. Dandy's hair candy in my hair. I smell fresh and clean. I have my Prada cologne on that I got a little while ago. I had on this Champion hoodie, but I walked outside. It's 59 degrees, and I even brought my hat because I was like, I may want to put on my hat later. But I walked outside, and in that hoodie, I was like burning up. I don't know why. So I was like, I went back inside and I put on this t-shirt. This t-shirt's it's a little tight on the gut. I think it's time to get back on the Optavia. So anyway, how are you guys doing tonight? Did I ask that already? I don't know. I had the most fantastic shower. I'll tell you what happened in a second. But anyway, I got up today and what did I do today? Oh, I woke up today and I had the worst migraine I have had in a long time. And I was like laying in bed and I was like, I almost couldn't even move. And I was like, oh my God, my head is killing me. And the dogs were up and they wanted to go out. And I was like, is it raining outside? Like usually my head does not hurt that bad unless it's like really raining outside or it's like really dark and cloudy, like it's gonna rain. And because of the barometric pressure. And I walked downstairs and it was really sunny outside today. It was actually a nice fall day. It was like in the mid 70s and it was just super sunny. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I don't know if any of you out there have migraine disorder, but when you have it, it's just like it's like if you're driving a car and you usually drive, let's say 40 miles an hour, it literally takes you everything you have to drive 10 miles an hour. That's how it feels. And I just was like so slow today in everything that I was doing. And I had all these videos that I wanted to make and I had all this stuff that I wanted to do. I had done this assumptions thing on my Instagram where I wanted to do that answering your people's assumptions about me. So I had wanted to do that video and I had asked people on my Instagram yesterday and I got so many, I literally is going to be my word probably today, but I literally got like 300 assumptions and I was like, okay, I really want to do this video and I had written it down last night. I usually sometimes like the night before write down what videos I want to do the next day. And I hadn't done a meditation video in like 2 days, so I definitely wanted to do that. And I had like a review video idea that I was gonna do, and I just was like, I don't think I can do this. I had something I had to do at 5 o'clock, like a sobriety commitment thing, and I just was like, I don't think that I can do this. I don't think I can sit down and actually film. Like, I just really couldn't pull it together. And my head hurt so bad. So I don't know if I've talked about this on here, but my neurologist has always recommended for me to take a leave, okay? And I've had a lot of people in the comment sections of my vlog tell me that a leave is not for migraines. But the kind of migraine that I have, he said specifically, it is helped more by naproxen, which is a leave, okay? So I've always taken a leave, and it dulls it a little bit. But it really doesn't help it or take it away. It just dulls it. So if my migraine is like, let's say at a 7, it dulls it to like a 5 or a 4 to where it's like functioning, right? And I've taken a leave forever to the point where I just really try not to take it because like if I'm functioning and I can get through the day, then I try not to take it because I just don't want to be, where I'm like taking it all the time. I still have my coffee left. I actually didn't even get my coffee until 4 o'clock. And I think that might be part of why I had a little bit of a headache. Well, I think I had a headache on top of a migraine, which I know that sounds crazy, but it's possible. So anyway, I have been taking, so I got Alex some Motrin because somebody recommended that to me for his back pain when he had thrown his back out a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. So I got him that Motrin. Well, my friend was telling me that she suffers from migraine disorder as well, and that she takes Motrin for it. And I was like, does it help? And she's like, yeah, it's ibuprofen, which really helps for migraines. So I've been taking that instead when I get a bad migraine, and it's like goes away. Like, it's the weirdest thing. I don't know if it's me changing it up or if that's what I should have been taking all along or whatever. And I have an appointment coming up with my neurologist, so I'm just going to ask him then. But, so today, I had to be at this thing at 5 o'clock, and I went and got coffee, and I'm just like, whoo. I mean, it literally was just like throbbing. I was like, I don't even know that I'm going to be able to sit through this thing. So, I did everything I could around the house without having to leave, like before I had to leave. Like I started like rendering the vlog, getting the vlog up, and then I went and got coffee, and I took some Motrin when I got coffee like at Starbucks. Like I was sitting there and I like took the Motrin. I carry it with me now all the time. Well, anyway, it's in my bag. And I got to the thing at 5 o'clock, and I was like, I even told them, I was like, I have like a horrible headache. They're like, or I said I had a horrible migraine, and they're like, we could have rescheduled it. And I'm like, no, let's just do this, you know, whatever. And it's like a committee thing. So anyway, so like in 10 minutes, my migraine was gone. Like, it was completely gone. It was the weirdest thing. It was like 1 second, I was like in complete, absolute pain. And like 10 minutes later, it was like completely gone. And it was funny because like at the end, like when we were sitting there just kind of like chatting and stuff at the end, one of my friends was like, she was like, you literally like were looking down when you came in. And I was like, it hurt. Like, it's like, I never really get like orbital migraines, but like it really hurt just to like, I had really thick sunglasses on today and stuff like that. And she was like, you're like laughing and stuff now. I was like, this is the craziest thing. It like literally just went away. So I don't know, maybe it was a mix of the caffeine, and it was a mix of that and the Motrin. But so I started my day off, I had just a horrendous migraine, and I had wanted to do all these videos, and I didn't end up getting to post them. So that was that. And then after that, I was in a great mood. I was in a really, really good mood. Thankfully. And it's crazy to say this, but I always, like, because you wouldn't think of this unless you suffer from it, but I always feel extremely grateful for the days that I wake up that my head doesn't really hurt at all, because it's very rare that that happens. So then I had talked to my friend Valerie earlier in the day, and I haven't seen Valerie for like 2 weeks because she was out of town, and she literally just got back into town like a day ago, I think, or something like that. Oh, no. When did she say I can't remember, but anyway. And so she was like, I want to go to the casino tonight. Do you want to meet me up there? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I hadn't seen her, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm on my way to go meet her at the casino, and which will be fun because I haven't been up there for a while either. So anyway, Alex was still at work when I got done with my thing, and then so I called him, and he was like, I'm really hungry. And I was like, well, what are you hungry for? And he was like, I don't care, do you want to go get something? And I was like, well, I've still got to feed the dogs. And he was like, well, I'll feed the dogs, because I had some errands I had to run. And he goes, you want to go to Cheesecake? And I said, sure. So I called Melissa to see what she and Jason were doing, and Jason had something that he was doing, and he had just left. So Melissa's like, I'm on my own tonight. What did you want to do? And I said, do you want to go to Cheesecake? And she's like, yeah, I'll meet you there. So we went to Cheesecake with Melissa, and I had the 4-cheese pasta, and I only ate like half of it. It was so delicious though. And she got the lettuce wraps, and Alex got a skinny Caesar salad. And it was fun. We had a really good time, and we started planning like Halloween stuff that we're gonna do. We're gonna go to this hayride and haunted house. Like, I don't do haunted houses. I get too terrified. I don't know if I don't like shock value stuff. It scares the hell out of me. And like, I like movies and that kind of stuff where I can kind of semi-control it, but I don't like when people are like grabbing at me and stuff. So I don't do haunted houses. But I am gonna do the hayride at this thing, I think. And then we were talking about the Irvington Halloween Festival, which is on the 26th. I think it's like from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You should go. We're gonna go. We're all gonna go. And it's Melissa has, like, for her rescue stuff that she does, she's gonna have a booth there. And she said it's like the biggest Halloween festival in the country or something like that. So, or the oldest maybe. So I'm really excited about that. And then we were planning some other Halloween stuff. And so we're gonna go over to Melissa's house for Halloween again this year, and have different kinds of chili and all that kind of stuff. I'm real excited. Alex doesn't get off until late that night. He has got a bunch of stuff he has to do. like things that are already like pre-planned, like 3 weeks in advance or a month in advance or whatever. So I think I'll probably go over and see the kids trick or treat and then go over to Melissa and Jason's. Just depends on what I have going on that day. Oh my God. Okay, so before that though, when Alex was coming home and I was going to run errands, I had to go to the post office. When I was at the post office, I was leaving and I looked over to my right and there's a lot of like fields around the post office and a lot of like warehouses and stuff. It's kind of like back in this area, like if you live in Indianapolis, it's the Castleton post office, and it's like back, and it's like kind of hidden behind not really hidden, but it's like back with warehouses, and it backs up to like this apartment complex and this golf course and stuff. Well, I look over and there's this little fox and he's just standing there and he's like literally like, you could see his head move. He was like watching the cars go by and he was probably like 15 feet back, like in the grass. And then and I like just stopped on the side of the road and I was looking at him. I took a picture and I took a video of him. And I put my hazard lights on and I just stopped and I was watching him. And he just was sitting there and he was kind of watching the cars and all of a sudden he just sat down. And he just like, it was so sad. It was like he didn't know where to go. Like he was so scared. And so I turned around because he was going the other way. I went up and I turned around and I came back and I was like following him. At the point that I got the video was when he was like walking across the street and he was like, people were like tearing through there and he was just like walking across the street and like not even, like he was kind of like looking, but he didn't really, you could just tell it, he looked like he was lost. It was kind of sad. And then this woman that was at the post office when I was there, I noticed she was circling too. And so she and I pulled up next to each other and I said to her, we both rolled down our windows and I said, did you see the fox? And she goes, yeah, I'm really worried about him. She was like, he looks lost or something. And I said, yeah, I'm like real heartbroken over it. And she goes, well, what do you think we should do? And I said, I don't know. I said, I looked because I pulled into this parking lot and I was like, I looked and animal control is closed for the day. I said, I don't know what you do like in a situation like this. And I said, I think I'm going to call the police. Like, I just don't want him to get, hurt out here. And she was like, okay. She's like, dude. So she sat there and I called the police and I got the nicest woman on the phone. I thought they were going to laugh at me because I was calling about this baby fox, right? And so this woman got on the phone and she was like, what's your emergency? And I said, it's not an emergency. I said, but I don't really know who to call. And I explained the situation to her. And she goes, no, I think that's a really good reason to call. She was like, did you try to call animal control? And I said, well, they're closed for the day. And because I said, but I don't want them to come and take the animal and euthanize it. And she's like, animal control doesn't do that. She was like, they'll go and they'll release it somewhere else, or they'll like release it into the area woods right there. She was like, that's what they typically do in Indiana. And I said, okay. And she said, well, let me go talk to my supervisor. She was so sweet to me on the phone. She came back a couple minutes later. I said, I know this is crazy, but I'm an animal lover. And she was like, oh, no, I totally understand it. She goes, we don't really know what to tell you because there's nobody for us to send out there. She was like, just so you know in the future. She said, but if you call some like wildlife conservation in Indianapolis, she's like, one of them might be able to come out there and assist you and make sure that like, he gets back to where he's supposed to get to or whatever. She's like, they know what they're doing with those kinds of things. And I said, okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking up all these wildlife conservations. They all close at 5 o'clock. And I'm like, well, what happens if you find an animal late at night, And so anyway, I was like, I didn't know what to do and I was stressing out. And so I was like, call Melissa. She's queen of the animals with all this kind of stuff. She does rescues. So I called her and like literally Melissa was like, give me 2 seconds. And she called her friend who actually works for wildlife conservation. And she said, her friend said, have him send the video. So I sent the video to Melissa and then Melissa sent it to her friend. And her friend said that it wasn't a baby fox, that it looked like it was like over a year old. And that because it was early evening and the seasons were changing or something, I don't know, but like that he would probably be okay. And then I was sitting there, and as I was sitting there waiting for Melissa, like I lost him. He went down like in this drainage ditch area and I couldn't find him after that. So I hope the little guy's okay. He looked lost. Melissa's like, maybe he just like came over from the, because the golf course over there is like, there's a lot of wooded area and stuff. And she said, well, maybe he came from over there, the golf course, and that's where he was at or something. I was like, I don't know, I hope. He was so sweet. He just kept on like looking around and then he would just like sit down. Like he didn't know what he was doing. And then at one point he was like pouncing, like he had found something like that he was like tracking or something. He's cute. Cute little guy. So yeah, so then we went and ate, and then Valerie said she wasn't gonna go up to the casino till like 11, and we got home at like 9:45, and Alex was watching Batwoman, and then he wanted to watch, I don't know, Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and I had no desire to watch that. So, I mean, I watch it sometimes with him, but tonight I just wasn't in the mood. So I've been working on my closet, you know, okay? I got all my shoes. I got all the shoes I have now are the shoes I'm keeping. And so I went in, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves, and it goes like sweaters, pants, t-shirt. Yeah, I have 4 shelves, and then I have another shelf that's like a really, like the width of my car, all jeans, and then on top of the 4 shelves, there's a shelf on top of that between there and the ceiling that's all sweaters and sweatshirts, and then in the middle is the huge shelf with all the jeans, which is like 6 jeans deep times 5, and then jeans I've had for 20 years. And then on top of that, I have more jeans. And then to the left of that, on top of that, I have all sweatshirts. And then underneath that, I have all my hanging clothes. And then underneath the hanging clothes, I have hanging clothes. I was like, I've got to start this. Now, let me just tell you, these hanging clothes, I have not worn most of them probably since we got married and I started putting on weight. So, really cute stuff. Like, I have a lot of vintage clothes, a lot of really cute stuff, but a lot of stuff that like I've kept for years and years and years, like even with my ex, and just never threw out and never wore. I mean, some of the stuff in there, like I went through it tonight, some of the stuff I literally have not worn in like 20 years, no lie, okay? So I started going through this, and then down I have these racks at the bottom where I keep like pajama pants and shorts and stuff, but those are even pajama pants and shorts that I don't even wear anymore. So, and then on top of those racks, I have like 4 shirts and 4 shirts, and those are the 8 shirts that actually fit right now, button downs, that I wear like when I am doing something. So out of all of these hundreds of hanging clothes and jeans and sweatshirts, okay, I have 8 shirts that fit. Plus a few in the basement, but that's it, right? And all this new stuff that I bought in the closet, that I bought that's in the corner that needs to go into the closet, right? So that stuff all does fit. So I started tonight, before I left for my sobriety thing, I like went through and I took out like 20 shirts. And I was like, ooh, you really made some effort tonight, 20 shirts, right? Took 20 shirts and bagged them up. Well, they were on the floor, and I texted Alex and I said, hey, when I come home, I'll bag these up, because the trash bag was sitting right next to him, but I was even too lazy to take those 20 shirts and put them in the bag because I was in a hurry, right? So when we came home from dinner tonight, I went up there. Valerie's texting me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do one section. I'm just gonna do one section tonight, and then each day this week I'll do one section of the hanging clothes, and that'll be, 3 sections, a section a day, and then I'm gonna do the top part on another day, and I'll have it done by the middle of next week. I did the entire hanging clothes tonight, you guys. 6 bags of clothes. 6 bags of clothes, okay? Half of one area is my motivation clothes. It's stuff I will not throw away, that like I've had for a while, or things I love. I have a lot of stuff that still has the tags on it. My 8 shirts over here in the middle part, and all these hangers. I have so many hangers now because we only use plastic hangers, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these hangers. So I got all the hanging clothes done, my racks underneath it, what was underneath my hanging shirts down there. So like the closet doesn't even look like the same closet. I mean, it looks crazy. It looks like, literally looks like somebody moved out. And I'm so happy. I got 6 huge bags. I mean, they're like large, extra large lawn bags for leaves, and they're like to capacity. So I'm very proud of myself for getting done with that. And then this weekend, I've got to keep it up, and I'm going to go through all of my folded clothes, my jeans and stuff like that, and then I'm going to put all the clothes in there, and then the closet is set. And then all I have after that are all the t-shirts that are too small for me that I put into a plastic bin, and I'm not throwing those away. Some of those things are collector's items. Because I love vintage clothes. But I also think that it'll motivate me, because I can't, like, I don't really have a whole lot to me. I looked at that, I was like, dude, you have 8 shirts to wear. 8 shirts. 8 shirts that fit. I was like, this is crazy town. So I got done with that, and I felt so dusty and sweaty from working on all of that I was like, I gotta take a shower. So I took a shower, and I used my Lush Fairly Traded Honey shampoo and the Veganese conditioner, and then this Burt's Bees lotion. I don't love it. It's this honey milk. I bought it because I used to use the Burt's Bees body butter that was honey, and I love the smell of it, and people used to always compliment me on it, but they don't make it anymore the way that they used to, and this is, I thought, was close to that, but it's not. It kind of stinks. It kind of smells like old ladies a little bit. I mean, not that I have any issue with old ladies. Y'all know I love old ladies, but it kind of smells like powdery, you know, like my grandma's house kind of thing. And I don't know that I think that that's necessarily sexy, you know what I mean? No offense. I mean, I guess if you're into old ladies and grandmas, then I dug myself a hole. You know what I'm saying, okay? I just... That's not necessarily how I want to smell. Unless I'm being real homey and just, like, putting on pajamas or something then, you know? But, like, maybe not to, like, go out into the world or something. Oh, my God. So that was my day. I feel, like, very accomplished. I wrote today as well a little bit. Not for very long, though, like 20 minutes. That was at home when I was, like, trying to pull it together with my migraine. I was, like, sitting there and I was like, okay, what can I do so I don't have to leave yet? And so I kind of, like, moved some stuff around in my outline. That's what I translate into writing. But I will tell you what I did last night after I got done vlogging, and what I did today is that I got a major part of that My Friend Anna done. And I'm down to, like, I have less than 3 hours left of it, which for me is about an hour and a half. But I'm less than that. It's like 2 hours and something. And, okay, so... if you don't know what this book is about, it's about this girl, and she's a photo editor for Vanity Fair magazine, and she befriends this girl. This is a true story. It's on the bestseller list right now, I think. She befriends this girl that ends up, she's like a fake heiress, and she supposedly is like worth $60 million or $67 million or something like that, but she's not. She's fake, and she scams all these hotels out of money and all this kind of stuff, and she scams this girl that wrote the book, this Rachel Williams girl, out of $67,000, right? But, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say too much about it because the live stream's coming up this Sunday and I have a lot to say about this book, but, like, at some point, I kind of lost having any sympathy for this girl. Like, I mean, it's like okay, she tells her she's going to pay her back, and it's like 75 days into it. Okay, I was at the end of the 23 minutes. Anyway, so she's like at, what do you call it? She's at like 75 days, and she hasn't paid this girl, right? This Rachel Williams who writes the book. And so she's like, my hotel won't let me stay there. Okay, so, like, there's this rule, apparently, that you can't, like, this girl, she lives in a hotel, okay? She lives in many hotels. And I'm not talking about, like, the Motel 6. I mean, she lives in, like, the W, downtown Manhattan, okay? Or, like, all these amazing hotels. And, so she lives at these hotels, and then you can't stay there, like, the most you can stay there is something like 30 days, and then you have to check out for a day, and then you can check back in the next day. But if you stay there for longer than 30 days, I think it's, like, law in New York that it's called, like, residency or something like that. I don't know. So anyway, so she has to, like, every 30 days check out of her hotel and check back in. It's real sketch. So at 75 days of this girl not paying her $67 $60,000 she owes her, okay? This girl can't pay her rent. She can't pay her bills. She owes American Express $36,000, okay? That this girl has promised her now for 75 days she'll pay her back. And it's not just like, oh, I'll pay you back, oh, I'll pay you back. It's like, oh, the tracking number is this. Well, I called my bank and they said that that's not a real tracking number. Oh, well, my attorneys will be on it and the bank will be on it and we'll get the tracking number to you tomorrow. Anna, I really need this cut. This is literally chapters of this book. I thought I was going to pull my hair out, okay? Anna, you said that was the code yesterday, but that wasn't the code. I really need the money. I'm stressing out. I can't sleep. I'm having panic attacks 24 hours straight. You know, I'm about to lose my job. I don't know what to do. It'll be okay. I'll get the code for you tomorrow. Okay, I'm banking on it. And then it goes to this girl speaking, this Rachel girl, and she's like, and I really had faith that she would. I really thought that she was going to pay me the money. The next day, I texted Anna and I asked Anna, do you have the money for me yet? Yes, I sent the code. Did you not get the code? The code should be good. The money is in the bank. I can see that the money has already been made in the deposit. 75 days of this, okay? 75 days of this. I'd have called that girl up and said, listen, all right? I'm coming over there right now, and if you don't have my money for me, and I mean in a cashier's check, or if you don't have it for me in cash that I can go deposit right now, I'm grabbing you by the hair and we're going to the police department. End of story, period, okay? This $67,000 is ridiculous. I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my rent. What is going on with this? I'm getting too fired up. It's not focusing for me. You know, she's about to lose her job because she had to put part of it on her Con Nast card because she worked for Vanity Fair. The whole thing is just like, I want to feel sorry for this girl so bad. Oh, and on top of that, when she takes her to civil court for the money, she loses it. Because the judge basically says, well, you didn't have to put it on your credit card. And I'm sitting there and I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, that's true. You didn't, you know? Like, you could have said no. Oh, I'm sorry, you're in Marrakesh at the $7,500 a night bed, like, hotel room. I mean, the whole thing is just like, I don't know. And I'm like watching these like news stories of it, these interviews, because the whole thing is like so intriguing to me. And she's like, there's this one, and it's like NBC or something, and she's walking down the street, and they're like, well, what do you think of Anna Delvey now? And she's like, I think she's a sociopath. And I'm like, I think you are one of the most gullible people I have ever met in my entire life. It literally takes her 3/4 of the book for her to maybe think the girl could be possibly in some other realm a con. I'm like, she's like still believing her at that point. And the girl's like, I have no place else to sleep, and she lets her sleep on her couch. And I'm like, I'm like losing it listening to this, right? I'm like, this girl is stupid. She is so stupid. So anyway, I'm trying to be real sympathetic towards her, you know, because I feel bad for her. Like, I mean, I guess all of us make friends that are worth, I don't know. I cannot, first of all, this is where, so like, Mel was texting me today, and she was like, red flag number one, when you're, should have been when she can't keep a friend. And I'm like, red flag number one is the very first time you go hang out with her and she asks you to the most expensive dinner in New York City, and then her credit card won't go through, and then she asks you to cover it. And let's just be for real, when you're reading the book, that happens 30 times before she ever gets to Marrakesh, to this exclusive hotel that she doesn't know. I'm gonna go down here and talk for a little bit before I go to the casino. Before she has to put this thing on her credit card, okay? This is what's baffling to me, okay? Now, I'm sure that the majority of my viewing audience out there, you, have credit cards that go to $50,000 and $60,000, but mine don't, okay? I couldn't put $36,000 on a credit card tomorrow if I wanted to. So, I don't, like, that to me is just this crazy town, right? Like, I mean, I don't have, like, what is it, an American Express black card, and I don't want one, okay? I don't want one. This is a good example for why people should not have high credit limits like that. Well, I mean, the one thing that does happen is that her credit card won't go through, and so she has to call American Express, and they boost the limit for her because they want her to get out of Marrakesh safely. This story is so crazy when you listen to it, but like, I don't know how crazy it is, if it's crazy because the girl's a total con, which yes, that's crazy, or if it's also crazy because this friend of hers that wrote the book which I saw in an interview, she basically says, I wrote the book to make the money because I didn't win the civil court and I can't pay my bills. That's basically what she said, right? And then this Anna Delvey shows up to court dressed like a fashion model in all these new outfits, and her attorney said that they hired a stylist because she had to look the part of who she'd been all along. And I was like, look the part of what? A con? Like, I'm so confused by this whole story. But I'm not to the part yet where this Rachel girl uses social media and helps the police track her down and find her. The only reason I know that that's what's coming up is because they said it in an interview, but then they didn't really elaborate on that. Thank God, because I didn't want this wonderful book ruined for me any more than it already has been. I'm so ready to be done with it. I'm so ready to be done with it. This girl that, okay, first of all, this girl that does it, this Anna girl. So, I go to her Instagram. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? So I go to her Instagram because they talk about Instagram on there. And so I go to her Instagram, and it's funny because like this one picture that this Rachel girl is talking about, where it's like these 4 girls, and she describes the picture in the book. The picture is on her Instagram, okay? Like, it's there on her Instagram. And, she's like, it's like one of the, no offense to Anna Delvey, the con artist of the world, but it's truly one of the worst Instagrams I've ever seen in my entire life, okay? It's so juvenile. I'm sure she was, I'm sure she was probably buying likes and followers. I'm sure that's hard to believe that she was a con doing that, but but they're just like, it's so, like, her Instagram is so weird, and it's like just random pictures of flowers and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just like, when you're looking at it, but then when you go to the comments underneath here, oh my God, and there's not like a lot of comments, right? But there are comments, and people are like, they're just like ruthless to her in the I would like go in and I would look in some random picture from like 2014 or 16 or something, and there would be like all these like hateful comments underneath there of these people coming for her. And then some people were saying that she was like the Pied Piper, or the Robin Hood of like New York City, and taking all these rich kids down and stuff like that. I don't know. She was smart at what she did, though, man. Like, I couldn't even track half the book. I was like, I don't even understand what these people are talking about. I'm so confused by half of this. I gotta turn around. Ballerini's probably like, where are you at? Where are you at? I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I would definitely... I don't know if I would recommend it. It's such a weird book. Like, I just think, like, maybe that's not what I was in the mood for reading right now. Like, you know, I find often with books that when I read them, like, Mel loved it. Mel was like, I loved it. And, I mean, it is interesting. I would say this, if you're going to read it, don't watch the interviews, because I feel like I know a lot of what's going to happen already. It always kind of spooks me out when somebody's, like when there's like a semi just like parked on the side of the road over there. But anyway, don't go watch the interviews or read a bunch of articles about it, because it'll just ruin it for you. Like, I already knew so much of what was going to happen before it is cloudy outside. Look at that moon. It's kind of scary. If there was like a scarecrow just sitting over there in the cornfield, I think I would lose my mind. But it's just not what I expected. It's just totally not what I expected. I don't know. And I also thought it would be more detailed. Like, there's just not a lot of, like, interesting detail to it. It's basically about a girl that can't say no. I'm just a girl who can't say no. But it is. It's about this girl, Rachel, who is too nice to say no to this girl. And she's too taken with her because this Anna girl is supposedly charismatic, but every interview, footage, article, Instagram that I've ever seen of this Anna girl, she literally has the charisma of a rock. I mean, she just, dull. Like, there's one part, she's like, they're talking to her, they're confronting her at this restaurant, and they're like, she said her eyes were dead, soulless. And I'm like, yeah, that's every thing I've ever seen of her. She looks that way. So, like, I'm not sure why this was a shock to you. And, like, throughout the whole book, like, when they're having conversations, she'll say something to her like, oh, I can't even, it's just like, she's just like ruthless. Like she'll get into like an Uber or somebody's car and she'll say, is there an auxiliary cord? And they'll say, yeah. And she'll like plug in her iPhone and blast whatever music she wants to the top of her lungs. And when people are talking, she'll like tell them to be quiet. She's like just real rude. She's like real rude, right? Like why you would ever be attracted to somebody like this. And she literally says in the book, like after she hasn't gotten her money, like after she realizes, oh, I'm probably not going to get this money. She then goes on to say it 10 more times. Oh, I think I might not be getting my money. Oh, do you think I might not be getting my money? Oh, I wonder if I'm getting my money. And then she still sees this girl and whatever. And then she says like 5 times, I think our friendship might be over. I'm like, she stole $67,000 from you. What do you mean you think the friendship might be over? Oh my God. I try to be responsive, not reactionary, but I'm telling you right now, if anybody did that to me, I would let them have it. It would be over. I still would be, at the beginning of it is when you find out what happened, and it's like, it goes in and then it flashes back, you know? And they're in this hotel room in Marrakesh, and her credit card won't go through. And so she has to use this Rachel girl's credit card, right? And she's like sitting there, and she's like, can I use your credit card? I'd be like, girl, I don't have a credit card. I don't know what you're talking about. I only use cash. I would have totally lied through my teeth. But then you go back and you find out that like, oh, their first dinner in Marrakesh, the credit card didn't go through. Oh, she had to buy her $1,000 worth of dresses and this and that. I mean, she's literally been footing this girl's bill forever. And she's like, I'm kind of like reading it, and I'm like wondering like where this girl comes from, that she thinks like no big thing about just adding this. She's tallying up how much she owes her that, oh, she went shopping and she spent $1,000. Oh, I'll put it on my credit card, and then it's $200 or $300 here. She acts like it's not that big of a deal at the time, but then she comes back later and she says, like when you're watching these interviews, she says she owes me more than I make in a year. And I'm like, well, if you're only making I mean, it's good income, but in New York City it would be tight. But if you're making $60,000, $67,000 a year, why are you so comfortable lending this girl $1,000 to go shopping, right? Even if you knew that she was going to pay you back, I'd be like, no, girl, you don't need the dresses. We're going to go to TJ Maxx Marrakesh, okay? You don't need the dresses. You don't need no $1,000 dresses. Not on my credit card, you don't. I don't know, get a website number for them and you can come back and buy it later. I'm sorry, my friends and I, we don't ask that of each other. You know, I'll buy a dinner for my friends and they'll buy a dinner for us, but like, you know, like I think that kind of goes along with being couples and stuff anyway, and not always, sometimes, you know, but like, it's just, I don't understand all of that. Like that must just be a world that I don't relate to. I don't know. So I guess I would recommend reading it. It's just such a crazy story, like from all sides. Like, I don't know that this girl, when she wrote it, realized that she was exposing herself for being just as crazy as the rest of them. Can I just tell you one thing that I will say, though? And this is not sponsored, but I told Melissa tonight, and I've been showing everybody this. This Manny MUA lip gloss, you guys, I'm telling you right now, it is no joke, okay? It is so fantastic. Melissa smelled it, and she goes, oh my God, that is the best smelling lip gloss I've ever smelled in my entire life. It is so fantastic. It literally smells like cake batter. And it stays on, and it is so good. Now let's go find some murderers. Somebody said that in the comment section yesterday. They said I put on my lip gloss and said, now let's go find some murderers. Oh, American Horror Story was on tonight. We didn't even watch it. We could have watched that tonight when we got home. I didn't think about it. Was it on tonight or was it on tomorrow? I think it was on tonight. Well, I'm almost here, so I'm going to get off the camera. Family friendly! I'm going to get off here for the night and go into the casino and join Ballerini. I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday, unless you have other plans. I know this is a little shorter tonight, but it'll be longer tomorrow. I think it's about 40 minutes, something like that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday. Is it tomorrow, Thursday? Yeah. I hope you're having an amazing Thursday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of it. Enjoy your day. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Live this day to the fullest. Do something today that you can look back on and have great memories. Let's make new memories. Let's not always be stuck in the old memories. Let's make new memories too, you know? And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and say, I love you. You are valuable. So you have to really look at yourself and say it. And say other positive affirmations to yourself. And believe them. And work towards believing them. And most importantly, make sure that you pass them on to somebody else. And, or pass it on to somebody else and you let somebody else know how important they are to you. And just call somebody up or just, you know, somebody at the gas station or, I don't know, somebody you see on a daily basis and just let them know, hey, you mean a lot to me. I appreciate you in my life. It's that simple. So, we all need to hear that from time to time. All right, you guys, I love you and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Love ya.